Thank you everybody for joining. And today is our first Twitter space with a special guest, Regina. I think a lot of you knows Regina, follows her. And yeah, Regina, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so, I am just a absolutely normal person with no political background or whatsoever. I am a teacher myself. I teach local Russian-speaking kids Estonian language, and yes, that's what I mostly do for a living. I also a mom of a bilingual kid. So yes, she speaks Russian, and but she doesn't try to read Russian. She has no intentions to learn it either, and she goes to Estonian school. She writes and reads Estonian only, and English now too. So this is what you mostly can should know about me, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Also, I like you are really active in supporting Ukraine. Like, what inspires you to support us so bravely?
First of all, I think that the fact that I had already many friends in Ukraine before the war, uh, even before the Crimea was occupied, I had some friends, mostly online friends, who were Ukrainians, who were living in Europe, in Ukraine, in the United States. I had some online friends, and I just noticed that we had a lot of in common. Uh, we were we were having same opinions on multiple topics. We disliked Russia pretty much on the same level, uh, and well, that is where it started. So it was rather natural decision for me. There was no push from that.
Got it. Also, I saw you shared like really great pictures from Tallinn today when the Estonians remembering the Holodomor. Is are you guys doing it every year, or do you remember when it started?
Well, they do it. It's the organizers are. It's the I don't remember the correct exact name of the organization, but it's the Ukrainian Organization of Estonia. So association, I guess. So I know the leader. I know who the on the board. I know those great people, and last year for sure they did it for sure. I don't really remember. I wasn't really actually following it so much, I guess. Were they doing it because after the full scale invasion started, of course I was like closer to them, and we were communicating way more. So yes, they did it. It was like how many people there were, like 50, 60, 70. I wasn't really counting. So yes, it was a 1 hour and a half long memorial ceremony there. Yes.
Yeah, this is really like interesting for me because I think that probably after the president Yushchenko started pushing more and more to recognize Holodomor, and right now with the war, like more and more countries in United States, for some reasons, different states recognizing Holodomor as a genocide of Ukrainians. But probably for the last 10 years, I see more and more countries, more and more people understanding what happened and remembering those people who was genocide in 30s. And Estonia got lucky because you guys weren't under USSR this time, but you got there in 1940. I wanted to ask you about languages. So you speak three languages. How are you keeping up? Like, because sometimes, like, I speak Ukrainian, Russian, and English, and sometimes all those three languages is mixing, and like I'm forgetting a word in Ukrainian, and I remember only word in English, and vice versa.
Oh well, it actually happens to me also. So I might, well, I hope you don't hate me for that. That my like native language is actually Russian. Uh, my granddad spoke only German, and because I come from a very mixed family. For like centuries, they were mixing. I can when I got my DNA test, like was okay, right, half of the Europe, literally. So uh when I speak Estonian on my class and I try to explain to my students the new word, and it happens quite a lot that I forget the word in Russian. I do forget, and I just this thing the own what this own what it's an apple. Okay, you don't. Okay, just a very simple word, and I forget it. It happens to me also because it's. I think just my brain refuses to switch to the other language at that moment because we are good. We said this word "ill," and everybody knows what's that. But those kids they don't know it. And I have to explain it. So yes, I force my brain like to just stop and then яблоко. Okay. So guys, that's apple. And yes, they do mix, and some things are easier for me to explain in Estonian. Some things are easier for me to explain in English, and and some things are easier for me to explain in Russian. Like where I'm actually very angry, like extremely angry, then it's way easier for me to explain it in Russian. So yes, it is like that for me, and I think it's this. It's like I think as a person who has studied languages for quite a while, it's universal phenomena. Like people all mix those languages.
And
Wait,
what
go ahead.
language is your inner dialogue in?
Excuse me, just
What language is your inner dialogue in? What language do you think?
oh, phew. In all of them. In all of them, and sometimes yes, I do speak in like inner dialogue goes in all of those languages, and sometimes as I also speak German, but this German is very, let us say, I have like officially B1, and so well, it's like this the level when you get the citizenship. So it's like this good level, you can speak, you understand, but on a very basic level actually. So um, I speak German on this level, and sometimes I switch to it too, because there are some words in German that I think they suit the situation better. Or if some Finnish words, because I know some, well, I studied multiple times, I started learning Finnish, and well, let's say it's hard. It's the hardest language I ever tried to learn. It's a very hard language, not to compare with Estonian at all. Estonian is way easier because I like did it. Oh, and here we go, and here we go, and. So yes, and sometimes I use some words that are only in Finnish language. For example, this word is called kaamos. Kaamos is the winter darkness. It's the specific word for that in Finnish language. The winter darkness where there is no light in the day and in the night. So it's like complete darkness during the 24 hours. It's called kaamos.
Very interesting. I didn't know this word. Also, guys, I see some of our students and mentors is in the audience. Please get a microphone, ask Regina questions. It's not the first space for me with Regina, and I know a lot about her. And maybe you have some questions as well. Also, what I wanted to ask Regina, can you tell us when you start like learning English, because you are pretty fluent in English?
Well, as most of the kids in Estonian schools, I guess, in the third grade. But I was very keen on English because it opened a lot of possibilities for me to get the information firsthand from the about some no as kids mostly want to learn about their like cartoons and so on, the entertainment, the favorite boy bands, favorite girl bands, and so on. I was growing up in the 90s, so we were like the borders were finally open, and so this all this information flew into Estonia. And well, in Estonia, fluent English is very common. You don't see it only in the smaller villages somewhere, but and in the older generation, but among the those who are like 30, 40s, they are most of them are very fluent in English, and it's not that well. If you get at least like 12th grade education, you should be pretty good in English if you live in Estonia. It's not that something that is not uncommon. It's I don't know what is about the the Estonians just using so much English information in English, or something else, or just their curiosity about oh it's better to do it in English. We have better chances of because if we know English. I don't know, but most of the Estonians speak very good English.
This is actually really cool because what my experience with the students when I'm verifying them for our project, probably more than 80% of them telling me that, like, yeah, I learned English in school, in university, but because they don't have a practice to speak English in Ukraine, they really forgetting like a lot of things that they learn in the school. And I have the same problem. um, so I was learning English at school, at the university, and then when I lived in London a little bit, and then I moved to United States, and I had this problem to start talking to people because you always overthinking about the phrase you want to say, and a lot of Ukrainian students who's learning English with our project right now, they had like the same problem. Like, I know the vocabulary, I know grammar, but start speaking, it's something that you have to overcome. Stop like being afraid to make mistakes and things. Do you have any suggestions how to break this barrier better?
Well, it's a very well known phenomena also with any language, pretty much. Because I, as a Estonian teacher, I encourage my students. They have absolutely the same problem. They know, but they are so afraid of speaking because they're afraid of making a mistake. And well, what I suggest them, please do watch a lot of like movies. Don't uh, if you need uh, listen to them in English. If you need subtitles, okay, just fine, subtitles, but not because you have to get used to the sound. Your brain will start like mimicking this because a lot of my English is not from the classes. Oh, forgot. No, no, no. My English is mostly from the movies, from the TV shows, from the songs, from like from there. It's not from the books, let's say. And I, I have literally like no problem. I never had this language border with English. This is what I never had, because I learned it from the movies, from the shows, and so on, so on, so on, from like this living language. Of course, I then checked some of the phrases, some words. Okay, what does this mean? Okay, just wait a minute. So yes, and yes, you pick up this accent. This is funny thing. You pick the accent that you were mostly listening to. So yes, like people say, you mostly speak like something American. Because yes, most of the because I watch mostly the American shows. Yes, of course, because those were most American shows that I watched. Yes, and actually I watched a lot of them as a child. Another one thing, in Estonia, we do not translate anything into no movies are translated. No TV shows are translated. We hear all this original English, German, Finnish, Swedish, or whatever. We only do subtitles. So this is just like one big on Estonian television, Estonian cinemas. They do not put the dub on there. They just put the subtitles, nothing else. So it's just like a very big like plus for learning the language. You can go to the movie, you still hear the English.
This is cool. I actually didn't know that you guys don't do dubbing and you have only subtitles. I see the Blagodat is here. Hey, how you doing? And yeah, go
Good
ahead.
Good evening. I have a question. Like it's a meme about fox with hands up. I have a question about Estonian language because Estonian is not in the European language. Like, for example, Ukrainian and English are in the European language, and these languages have some common moments. And I'm very curious, like Finnish and Estonian, as I know, have this common moments because it's the same family of languages. And I'm curious what difference between Finnish Estonians and like Indo-European languages like German, English, and what difference and what commons. Like, I hope you understand.
Yeah, of course, I totally understood what you said like that right now. Well, let us say we have 14 cases. A lot of cases because we like completely need to know everything very, very, very exactly. As I like to name our this case system because it's 16 cases in Finnish and 14 cases in Estonian. It horrifies people when they see it. But when I say, guys, it's a perfect GPS system installed in a language, guys, you will like it is so easy for you to actually to say some things, and it's way and those because of those cases, the sentences are so much shorter than they are in Russian or for example, in Russian, absolutely, way shorter. Like my Russian text is, it's two. Estonian text compared to Russian is 2/3. Like you, 1/3 will be gone in translation, just because those are so exact and so like they are just put it with less effort, and the meaning stays the same. So, but what do we have in common? There is, let us say, you mostly understand, like you guess, so you understand what Finns are speaking. But actually, our languages are not that. They are not that in common. Without actually studying it, you can do some very basic things like and like literally the word tram, like it's a very basic word. It's tram on the in Estonian, but if you go to Finland, there is no tram. It's rautiovaunu or ratikas. Yes, it's this word. They have their own words for many things that are actually very universal in the other languages, like telephone on or like computer and so on, so on. They are different. So they are very. They don't want to let a lot of foreign words into their language, and they just keep it like clear. What is common health in Finnish and well, Estonian language was organized by Germans. Finnish wasn't because there were no Germans in Finland ever. They never occupied Finland, but Estonia was occupied by Germans when they were like, yes, in the Middle Ages, and there were a lot of Germans who stayed here until the very, very late time, until the Second World War. And so they influenced the language quite a lot. And there are a lot of words that like the dress, it's the kleid, or in Estonian, or kleid in German, or the amet, it's the job profession. Amt, it's that's a German word for pretty much the same. Or this arst is this in Estonian, that's a doctor, and arzt in German. So there is a lot of influence from German in Estonian, and zero German influence in Finnish. And Finnish, because Germans were, like they also do, they want everything to be very, very correct. So yes, it influenced quite a lot Estonian language. It became simpler, like shorter, and like everything was on its place. Finnish language is it was stayed as it was born. It was like that, and it was for many, many years, and just was living its free life, because Swedes, they did nothing to it as they were like occupying Finland. Russians didn't want to do anything about this Finnish language. Only they wanted to, well, as usually, to exterminate it, but they failed. So yes, so the language was living its life, and no one actually except the Finns themselves ever dealt with this language. So that's the biggest difference. So we have way bigger German influence on our language and culture, and Finns don't. Finns don't have it. So that's the main difference. What you have to, when you open like the textbook of Finnish and the textbook of Estonian, that's what you see. We have way shorter words. Finns still have this, some way archaic like phrases, and they're longer, but we don't have it anymore. So that's the main difference.
Okay, another question. Sorry. Like in Ukraine, we have published one book, very popular, about influence on Ukrainian language in Soviet time. Like literally, like language. Soviets tried to exterminate Ukrainian language, and tried in different ways. For example, like erased words in Ukrainian and put on this place like Russian words. And I have questions about Soviet occupation period and how Soviets tried to exterminate Estonian language, because I'm sure that they tried.
Oh, they absolutely tried it. It was not only in the Soviet occupation; it was before. It was in the Tsar time, except well, Alexander II, and he's like when he was like prohibiting many things in Estonia too, in Finland too. So all of the places got like this special treatment, like, and just another wave of Russification. But in when Estonia, well, there is one difference with Ukraine. Estonia was like a free country, completely free country from the 1918. So we had like this 20 years gap. So we managed to do something ourselves with our language too. And there was like way more done. Okay, it was also tried to destroy it. During the Soviet period, what they did first, when they occupied first. Then the first deportations were in the 1947, the biggest ones. That's the Operation Priboy, or this Operation Tide. And this war from all the three countries, from Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania. there was quite a lot of, we are a small country, so those numbers are quite big for our countries, but I just don't have them right now in my memory. It was quite a significant. But who was exactly those people who were sent on the cattle cars to Siberia? Those were the intellectuals. They were those people with the knowledge. Those were the teachers of Estonian. Those were the directors of the schools. And there is a quite a famous movie. Of course, it's prohibited in Russia, and it's called the Tavarish Rебенок. It's also like Seltsimees laps in Estonian. And it's based on the childhood memories of one writer. And because her mom was a school director and Estonian teacher who was deported by NKVD and yes, she never returned. And how it was, it's a hard to watch movie because you see this from the eyes of this kid. So yes, they renamed a lot of our streets in Tallinn. They renamed the cities. Tallinn, okay, they was Tallinn. They erased the second N because Linn in Tallinn, yes, and the Tallinn is always with 2 L and 2 N, never one N, because this is the Russians who put one N in the end. It's the Russian tradition. Because Linn, it means, it's Estonian word and it means city. The name has the meaning, and they still think, what does it mean? Does it mean the tal? What does tal mean? It might be the winter. Tali. Tali is one of the version of the winter name in Estonia. We have like the stal for the Tali. And they also so yes, so just to raise that this name has a meaning, and the meaning in Estonian does exist, and it says this is a city. And what else? A lot of writers were persecuted. Or sent to the gulags, sent to the loonies, just get away from Estonia. And only the president Bats, who was the president at the time of occupation, he was held in the loony, and then I guess he died there very soon. And I think, I don't remember exactly the story, but it wasn't their natural death. And they, of course, a lot. They didn't have many Russian schools here before the occupation. There was never many Russians here at all. Like it was like those 8%, 6% of Russians here compared to those 28 at the end of the occupation. So a lot of people from all over Russia, or all over Soviet Union, were brought in. Instead, that's the all very common for them. And what they also do, they replace those really bright, really dangerous people for them who could really fight back, those like individuals who really could be dangerous for them, and replace them with those like those Soviet slaves who came from literally nowhere. And they established Russian schools. There are way less Estonian schools, and there are a lot of press in Russian. Books were published in Estonia, but there is way less of them. So all this National Song Festival was prohibited for some time, but then they returned it, but under some, I guess it was in the 60s, after Stalin died. Because we have the Song Festival, and it's a national celebration that actually started the First Republic in first place. So Stalin was extremely scared of that and prohibited it. So when Khrushchev came to power, Then he said, oh, well, maybe we can still do it. And just like the workers of all the like nations unite under this slogan. And they actually returned it for some time. So, but that was this in the 60s. So, so a lot of education in Russian. So, if you wanted to have good education, you wanted to be somewhere an engineer, or you wanted to be a doctor, and so on, you had to study. Actually, yes. You could study. There were way less places to study in Estonian, and a lot of places to study in Russian. So, well, they failed. They failed because we had Tartu. Tartu University has a very most of our universities are not from that time, and Tartu has a long history, and a lot of pretty famous people, including this Pirogov. He was Russian, yes, but he was working in Tartu University, and he invented all this what he invented in Tartu actually. So embryology was started in Tartu by some German scientist von Baer, and because we had like this our own agenda. Okay, we have this university, we have this university, we have this thing, and what you're gonna do? You cannot destroy it because you need it. So that was like they wanted to use Estonia and the Baltics itself as a like shop window. So to show all the West that actually the whole Soviet Union looks like the Baltic countries. What was a complete lie, of course, it was a complete lie. But this is exactly what they wanted to say. Yes.
Yeah, for example, like Estonia already has like interest in architecture and beautiful cities, and like all Soviets looks like Estonia. Yeah, no, it's bullshit, of course.
Exactly what they wanted to show people. Actually, the whole Soviet Union is that beautiful, and that we have like very literally again stealing our history, our own achievements, our own like rather complex development of the nation, of the country. It was rather complex because like we were Estonians were under the rule of many since this the German knights came here, and the Danes came to the northern Estonia, and the Germans came to the southern Estonia, and then the Poles came, and yes, the Ukrainians came too actually. And so because
We
Tartu,
did.
they they burned down the Tartu. Yes, they did. It was the northernmost place they managed to go was Tartu. Yes, they did. They did actually, and it was very long ago. It was like the brightest, the highest point of the Kievan Rus. That was that when it was, yes. But yes, it happened. And the Poles came, and that's literally everyone. All our neighbors were like Swedes came, and pretty much everybody. So and the Estonians were like living their life on their this well, what interesting. Is there a word in English language for a talu? It's because you have to know what talu is. It's a farmstead. Yes, it's farmstead. And Estonians don't live in villages. They live in farmsteads. They are complete introverts and they want to live by themselves. So they live in farmsteads. Yes, that the family has a farmstead, and well, there can be not many things around it. And some next farmstead is somewhere like 2-3 kilometers.
Estonians love personal
Ah,
space. Yeah.
quite a lot. Yes, it's the same as with Finns. They just live. They have like their own farmsteads, their own cottages. Like in Finland, they have the mökki. The Maki culture is something I experienced it a lot. It's very good for your mental health, let us say. It's a cottage near the. It's a cottage, and it might have literally not much. It's very simple, actually. It might have internet, it might not have internet, might have indoor toilet, might not have. The ones I stayed in were like the good ones, and they had everything inside. It was very beautiful. What they always have is sauna. That is what they always have. And they, as the Finland has like, oh, I don't know. It's the amount of lakes they have is enormous. It's like thousands, literally 10,000s of lakes in Finland, and a lot of swamps. So yes, they have sauna. That it will be. So you literally switch off from your everyday life and go to your Mekki. That's this cottage, yeah, in the woods, and you spend your time there. Yes, this is how they. And in Estonia, it's not that spread because they lived anyway quite far from each other. Yes.
I see we have another speaker. Maxime, do you want to ask Regina something?
Yeah, thank you. Can I ask you a question related to history? We know that there was a civil war between Red Army and White Army. So, and there was also another battle. It's called Estonian War for Independence. Can you tell me why Russian White Army fought for Estonian independence? If you go to Wikipedia, it says that Russian White Army was fighting for Estonian independence against Red Army. Can you tell me why Russian nationalists were fighting for Estonia? Thank you.
Well, I have a guess about this. They were hoping that if they help them to gain independence, there will be a possibility that Estonia will have like some kind of a won't actually leave Russian Imperium at that time if they still win, because they actually what they wanted to do is to fight the Bolsheviks. That's what was their main game, and what Estonians wanted, just to break free from this, and the main enemy of them both were the Bolsheviks. The Red Army were the main enemy, so they just shared the enemy, just the same, and nothing more. They just shared the enemy. And actually, maybe they had this plan. Oh, if we win, maybe Estonians will remember that, and we will remind them, and then maybe they won't leave, and maybe. So there was like many, just a speculation. That's just a speculation, but the most thing they had their common enemy, because Bolsheviks would never let go, absolutely. But well, let us say, it was in that time the arrival of the British Navy to the Baltic Sea actually was absolutely crucial. And then the Estonian army reached so far into Russian Federation that it was actually very clear that the Red Army was defeated. It was very far how far they reached. If you see it in the Wikipedia, you can see it. But please don't read it in Russian, because it's what I read about Estonia in the Russian Wikipedia. It's complete bullshit propaganda. I read it just lately, and oh my goodness, it's literally written by FSB. So yes, I just a common enemy. That's all.
Thank you. Well, another question is, Russian state media, Russian propaganda says a lot about the so-called неграждане, non-citizen. What is it actually, and what does it mean to be non-citizen? Is it true that all of this bullshit Russia tells about Estonia? What is it actually, non-citizen? status?
Yes, we do have it. It's not. It's we. Latvia has it. Lithuania doesn't have it. They didn't want it. This bullshit. They just said, "Yeah, okay, decide you're Russian or Lithuanian." No, like no middle ground. No middle ground. Are you Russian or Lithuanian? You're Russian, get Russian passport. You're Belarusian, get Belarusian passport. You're Lithuanian, get Lithuanian passport. That's all. And if you are your native language is Russian, there is one thing. Okay, that's the Lithuanian. They got it the simple way because they had the less amount of Russians in their state. No one actually wanted to go there, even because they knew how much Lithuanians hated Russians. Because, well, Lithuanians are Catholics. And, well, we know what the stance on religion by the Soviet power. They hated religion, so that's why. Okay, so about Estonia, yes, we do have this so-called alien passport. Yes, the alien passport is called officially alien passport. It's a gray color. We call it the gray passport. Well, I think this gray passport is even more neutral that this alien passport name. It doesn't give you this. Like it's for me, it's like alien passport. Okay, from what planet are you then from? And who grants this? Okay, we need to open the Constitution of Estonia. Who can be granted Estonian citizenship? First of all, you cannot be citizen of any other country at all. So you have to give up. Well, there are cases where people like they are born in the US to Estonian parents. Can they have this two passport? Yes, they can. As two Estonian citizens are the parents born in United States. Yes, they can. But that's because of the U.S. Constitution, not because of Estonian. But what about the aliens? I never had it because my grandma was born in Tallinn in 1918 in July. Estonia got independence on it's I will say a very scary date right now. Just 24th of February 1918. Yes, it's our Independence Day. It's a funny coincidence, but yes, 24th of February is our Independence Day. And everyone who was born in Estonia and was living in Estonia by the time independence was declared were automatically citizens. Yes. And if you were brought here to Estonia after, or your parents were brought here or moved to Estonia after the occupation, you could not be granted this passport. Because that's where this line goes. And those people who were born here or came here after the occupation, because most of them indeed came, like 99.9% of them came to they came from other parts of the Soviet Union. Where from where from they came? From the United States? No. From France? From Germany? No. From Sweden? No. They came from Soviet Union. This occupation was illegal. Yes, it's a fact. And it means if the occupation is illegal, all people who moved to this country moved here illegally. They are literally illegal immigrants. How can they be granted? It's purely legal question. Nothing to do about this hate or something. No, it's a purely legal question, and they make a great propaganda from this. if you move here during the occupation, can you be granted citizenship? No, because you're illegal immigrant. And all the kids who were born to whatever parent, after the restoration of independence are automatically citizens too. So it's just this the alien passport thing is only because the people who came here illegally during the occupation legally came here illegally. That's all. And yes, of course, as Russia never actually admitted they occupied Estonia, this word occupied. Even right now, when they're like, just lately, one of my friends wrote an article about this, and he stated, please get used to this word, occupation. It's nothing else but this, but illegal occupation. It's legally correct and factually correct. So please get used to it.
Okay, so it's like Russia annexed Crimea back in 2014, and so Russian citizens who came in Crimea, they will not be granted Ukrainian citizenship because they are illegally live in Crimea, right? Something like this. Because
They
Absolutely.
should be deported.
right.
Yeah.
So
And also, it's not annexation; it's about occupation, because annexation it's another term, what means it's recognized by another countries. But Crimea, as part of Russia, recognizes like Iran, yeah, recognizes.
not
So
even Iran recognizes Crimea as
like few countries,
North
but
Korea.
in UN, for example, it's not recognized. That's why annexed Crimea it's not correct
Yeah,
term. So
I agree.
it's occupation.
I'm not like lawyer. I have zero in that, but logically speaking, it is occupation, and um, that actually in the 90s, when there was like this, a lot of people indeed returned back to where they came from, where they were like in the summer of 95. A lot the Soviet army left. Yes, they were for 3 years more here. Yes. So they left, and with them a lot of their wives, their kids, all of them left. Well, some of them indeed stayed. Actually, I know some kind of a couple of people. I know them because they are on the right side of the history. They decided, okay, yes, our parents were on the wrong side of history. We decide to be on the right side of history, and they support Ukraine. And this is how I know them. Yes.
But look, you claimed, Blagodat just said that, they must be deported from Crimea if they are illegally in Crimea, because most of Russian citizens who live right now in Crimea came after occupation of Crimea. So we will expel them if we liberate Crimea. But when it comes to your country, Estonia, I mean, is it, if I'm not mistaken, you need to live in Estonia for 5 years and know Estonian language to become to become from non-citizen to become a citizen, right?
Well, it's more than 5 years. First of all, you have to have. First of all, um, you have to get a permanent residence here, and that's the first thing. 7 years is the minimum you have to live here, and only leave for some very short period, like on a holiday. No, you cannot leave Estonia for like half of a year. No, you cannot. You will lose those months. Only you can go for a holiday. No, like really long trips are excluded. You cannot do it if you want to get Estonian citizenship. Uh, 2-3 months. No, you cannot do it. No, you will lose it. And you have to pass an exam on B1 level Estonian language. It's very doable, actually. It's rather doable. Like, I teach some Ukrainians here, and well, I don't know, they can do it right now already. It's been only 1.5 years, then they're here and they can do it. I don't know what's the problem with all those guys who whine from their last name. That's the place that Soviets built. Big gray ghetto, the typical Soviet panelkas, where they live, and like all the normal all the like Russian speakers. They're not all. Not of them are Russians. Some of them are from very different parts of the Soviet Union. All those normal, okay people moved away from there because it's not possible to live there. I tried, believe me, I tried. I had a boyfriend from there in the 2000s. It's awful. It's you are just depressed by walking on those streets. So they are awful. That's our district, Lasnamaya, where most of the Vatniks live, but it's the most densely populated uh, place in Tallinn, yes. So yes, most of them live there. Mardu, that's the suburb. And the Ida-Virumaa, that's near the Russian border.
Can
Well,
you tell more about them? How wide is Russian spread in Estonia, and how do you deal with it, with all the Russian impact and or Russian influence on Estonian minds, like Russian literature, Russian
Estonians,
culture, and so on and so forth?
yes. Well, in Estonia, as we are very different. Estonian Russians, they're very. They just think differently. They are, yes, they are deeply introverted, but from time to time, they learn to open up. They are way more opened up right at the moment. But let us say, okay, in Tallinn, there is quite a lot of Russians, I have to say. I would say 45%, I'm not mistaken. Now it might be 45. So, yes, you hear quite a lot of Russian speech in Tallinn. Not all of them are Vatniks, not all of them. I'm sorry, I speak Russian, sure. Not all of the people who live in Lasnamäe are Vatniks. Not all people who live in Mardu are Vatniks. Not all people who live in Ida-Virumaa. Ida-Virumaa, let's say, my father actually comes from Ida-Virumaa. He is Baltic German. That's why I have this name. He's Baltic German. His father actually speaks, his native language was German, and yes, they were cool. It was pretty hard for them. Yes, they had, of course, to learn Russian. Actually, to just to live somewhere in Soviet Union, yes. So, and they're actually lucky they got out of the camps, because yes, they were sent from the camps. And yes, they returned to Kohtla-Järve. It's this coal mining. Well, let us say, what is Kohtla-Järve? It's like a mini Donbass of Estonia. Yes, it's coal mining district. They have the tericons. You know what this is. And we have tericons. We have all this coal mining thing. We have some things that in northern Estonia we have a very important thing: uranium. We have natural uranium in Estonia. And yes, the Soviets, of course, they wanted this. And they established the closed city of Sillamäe. Well, yeah, a closed military city. It was just there was nothing, but there was like uranium mine there. It nearly destroyed Estonian ecology. Yes, it could. And there was like laboratories and closed military city and so on, so on, so on. Yes. Also, we have Narva. Narva is well, if you think about Narva, all the cities in Estonia are small. Well, Tallinn is the whole Estonia. Just to give you because I know how big Ukraine is. Think about a country of 1.3 million people. It's a country in the size of a Kharkiv, literally, Estonia. And you see this, we have this on the border, exactly on the border, on the river, Narova, we have Narva city. It was once a very beautiful, very, very beautiful Baroque, one of the best preserved Baroque cities in Estonia until it was bombed to the ground. So Narva has pretty similar history because it was literally bombed to the ground, like a single buildings left. One of them is the town hall. And some close standing cities. All of the other Narva was bombed down. There was 68% of Estonians who were living there. Their mother tongue was Estonian. And now, what do you think? What is the percent of Estonian speakings in Narva right now? It's 4%. 4% of Narva citizens speak Estonian first language, speak Russian or some other language, but mostly it's Russian. So this is what there's a lot of fightings, quite a lot of fightings there, because the city was completely destroyed and rebuilt into quite an ugly place. Yes, the Narva castle survived, the town hall survived, a couple of buildings nearby survived. The last was just in ruins. Yes, those people who died on the place or fled to the other parts are deported later, and the original citizens. We have a lot of islands, like really of islands. The small one, the big ones. Literally, no one speaks Russian here. There, literally no one. If you go to the southern Estonia, if you go to Pärnu, if you go to Tartu, if you go to Haapsalu, there is not much of a Russian speech you will hear. There is not much, not much of them, just not much of them. It's more common for me, like I come to my ex-husband and his family lives in Pärnu. So it's a summertime city. It's a kurort city where you go to spend your time on the best beach in Estonia is in Pärnu. Very, very calm sea because it has a very, very deep bay, and they have some infrastructure to minimize the waves. So it's very calm. It's very calm. It's very warm. The sun sets exactly. Its sun is always shining directly on the beach, and it's very beautiful there. Yes, and it has a lot of spas. It's also like a summertime city. And we call it the summer capital of Estonia. It's unofficial, but yes, it has this name. Summer capital of Estonia is Pärnu. I even hear Ukrainian speech even more there. Yes, I hear more Ukrainian speech than Russian in Pärnu after the war or after the full invasion. So this is how it is. It's like the sports. In Tallinn, in Maardu, that's this industrial suburb. They have some factories there, and of course, those factories were built during the occupation. And yes, the people who came to work on those factories are mostly from the other parts. They had nothing to do with Estonia. And yes, there are a lot of vatniks there. Like even Lasnamäe is better. Even Lasnamäe, because they see like this life in Tallinn, how it is. They see they don't want it. This Ruski Mir anymore. They see that, oh, well, actually, it's quite good. Well, we actually, if you work here, you can afford quite a lot. Oh, if you study and you know the language, actually, you have a lot of chances to make something. So yes, they try to like. Today I was on this memorial service, Holodomor memorial service, and there was a guy who was literally from Lasnamäe. He was literally from Lasnamäe, and he's from NAFO, and he hates Vatniks. He hates it absolutely. The Unfortunately, Danya Kurakin, who is also on Twitter, he couldn't join us. He was in London. But yes, they are also from Lasnamäe, and they are not Vatniks. The younger generation, this generation who was born in Estonia and free Estonia, they had never seen this. They don't want it. They don't need it. To live in a free world, to have the possibilities. So there is actually hope, and those Vatniks who still live there, they are mostly the older population. They're older. They are like in the 50s, 40s, 60s. I don't see much of a young people who support it. Most of them are like older generation, and I think that they actually miss more their like being young than being stuck here in Estonia without any possibilities or any chances to do something for themselves. So yes, those Vatniks they tend to disappear right now. Yes, there's way less of them than there was on this on the when we had the Bronze Night in April 2007. There are way less. People just don't want it anymore. They understand it's nothing good comes from there, from the east. Nothing good comes from there. Uh, maybe in Narva they think differently, but well, when we deport them, for some reason they demand us to take them back. Well, we send them to the land of their dreams, to Russia. They were like supporting Russia so peacefully here in Estonia. Okay, we send them there, and then they want to go back. Like, why? What's logic here?
Thank you, Regina, for your answer. Also, San is joining us. Hey, San, how you doing? San, um, the founder of our project.
Hi there. Nice to see everyone, and it's been really interesting hearing from you, Regina. I'm not sure. I missed the beginning. I'm sorry, but I was wondering if you had any tips for our mentors about teaching or about helping people with English. For me, it's just trying to make someone feel comfortable enough to be happy to make mistakes. Do you have any advice for the mentors about how to create an environment that allows the student to feel comfortable speaking in a different language?
Well, yes, I spoke a little bit about this in the beginning. Well, I just remember how I myself I teach Estonian, and what actually helped me to stop stop fearing the mistakes. Well, the fact that first of all, in Estonia is actually very easy because Estonians will never tell you you're making a mistake. They will never tell you. They just understand you and will answer you. That's all. They never correct you. They will never criticize you for making mistakes. It's just in Estonia, it's very easy. Estonians create this environment for you to open up and speak, because they don't correct you, they don't criticize, they don't laugh at you because you said something funny, and it was a funny mistake. Well, there was maybe one time that I literally translated one thing from Russian to Estonian, and it was really funny because in Estonian such phrase doesn't exist. But yes, well, I'm smarter. Great, fine. I know that now. Now I know. But in feeling comfortable is extremely important. I completely agree with that, because if you feel this pressure, you are actually panicking. You are a bit panicking from the making mistakes. You shut down. You don't open up. So there are we have this sort of speaking clubs. We have speaking cafes where people come and just speak on the topic of the day. For example, we have like 45 minutes, 60 minutes, depends on how we agreed on. And we just speak about it, what we think about this topic, without any judgment, without any correcting the mistakes, without anything. So just to feel free and to feel just to prove yourself that yes, you can speak, and yes, that's absolutely okay. The other thing what I recommend people is, please listen to this language. Listen, because you will mimic it. This is how kids learn. Kids learn language completely in a different way. They don't have textbooks, they don't have those exercises, they just listen. So now this is my another advice, please. uh, Listen to the movies in English. If you have Netflix, you have Disney channels. If you have those channels that you can subscribe to, and they are in English language, please, like in Estonia, we don't dub. We have it's like completely like the bliss we have in Estonia, and in Finland actually too. We don't dub. We do subtitles in every cinema, in every movie that is another language. It's never dubbed, it's always have the subtitles, so you hear the language. This is how kids learn, they hear.
Yeah. Vit, did you want to ask a question? Vit? He's on hold. On mute. Thank you for that.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I wasn't on the mute. I was talking about dubbing and about running films in English in cinemas. We had the same public discussion in Ukraine as we have this law for making English as an international language of language of an international communication. And the public discussion came about the thing, what will be with visual impaired people or people who don't see clearly. How do you deal with it? Are there some special cinemas or something like that? Because it was an important point in discussion.
Well, it's actually a very interesting point you brought up right now, because I actually have no idea if we have it. Because in most of the we have some special show where it's dubbed. We have like one maybe in a week, uh, but most of them are still subtitled. So I guess that is how they decided to do. Like tomorrow, I'm actually going to see one of really great movies by Jarmusch, and it will not be dubbed. I know it. It will be original voice. It will be how it is. And yes, it was like that since forever. Since I started watching the movies in Estonia on TV, it was never subtitled. It was always subtitled, never dubbed. So yes, and actually the funny thing, yes, why older generation Estonians no Finnish. So, well, I wrote about this in my quite old post because it's a true story. That in the 70s, the Finns built their own, it's 70s, Soviet Union, we are occupied. Finland is not occupied. They are just Finlandized. They, how it's to say, the Finlandization is on them, so they are like not actually very free in doing their own decisions because they have this nasty neighbor across the border who might say, stop, no, 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 not like that. But they still could do something. But at least they were free and not occupied. So they built a new television antenna, the big television tower in Espoo. Espoo, it's a city near Helsinki. And they built it extra tall. It was way taller than it should be. And what? Guess what? Why? To reach the signal to reach Estonia. So yes, in the 70s, Estonia had Finnish television. I was watching Finnish Yleisradio. It's this public television, Yleisradio. And they were, yes. And this is why they know it. My mom knows Finnish because of that.
We have the same thing in western part of Ukraine, like when older generation use Polish as they listen to Polish radio during Soviet occupation, like it was 70s, 80s. So the same as you have with Finnish, we have with Polish.
I want to add here, you just said occupied by Soviet Union, Ukraine was occupied. I agree with you, but it's quite interesting that your country, Estonia, and all Baltic states, they, nobody in the West recognized Baltic states as a part of the Soviet Union. I mean, but
Not
Ukraine was
some,
recognized as a part of
some did.
Soviet Union. I don't know why.
Well, first of all, there were countries in the West who actually recognized that the Baltic states are the part, and you will surprised who is that. You will be very surprised who was that. They apologized greatly after that. It was Sweden. They did recognize the occupation. They said yes, okay, yeah, well, that's all. And in the back in the 90s, okay, so yes, they apologized after that. It was like said it was very very ugly for that, and we let you down, and yes, but that was it. And after that, sort of, Swedes, they are. Let us say I have some Swedish heritage too, and well, what I say, I have this love-hate relationship to Sweden because some things they do, like I said, oh my god, what are you doing? Like, why? Like, you're smart guys, why are you doing this? And on the other side, when I come there, I feel very welcomed. I feel at home in Sweden. So it's, yes, for me, it's love and hate with Sweden. And I guess it's the same in Estonia. Some of them just think, gosh, they are just those snobs and so on and so on. And yeah, so yes, Sweden did it actually recognize. It's not all black and white. And there was some dots and there was some people who you'd never believe will do it, but they did it. Okay, so I guess you were speaking right now, but I haven't heard nothing, so maybe you can repeat it.
Oh yeah. So, can you tell me about Kaya Kallas and her Liberal Party? Can you tell me her, political career, and what it's like to live under her rule? I mean, right? So, what it's like to be under leadership of Kaya Kallas?
Well, in Estonia, we don't have, I think, under someone's rule and have some. No, it's in Estonia. Estonia is very liberal democracy. It means that we choose this person and then we throw a lot of dirt into them because no matter what they do it wrongly. It's like, yes, we are very critical of our leaders, elected leaders. So, well, I admire everything she does. Uh, she's an absolutely great leader in the on the how to say, the international scene. She is absolutely irreplaceable as a voice for democracy, for Ukraine, for fighting Russia, for fighting any tyranny. She is an absolutely pivotal voice for that. She did like
Huge
because
voice.
because she can explain very difficult things with very simple words. That is her like the best quality. She really explains things like to a 3-year-old. She has this talent and patience to explain to people who ask very provocative. Actually, I heard a lot of interviews with her, very, very provocative questions, and she answers very quietly and as she's speaking to a 3-year-old kid. And yes, everyone understands. She has this reach. She can reach to the people and speak to them. So, on this place, yes, I vote for this country, for her party most of the time. Like most of the time, I vote for their party because they are like the most anti-Russian, like anti-Russian party, and they are the most those who they are pro economic growth, and they are those who actually made Estonia at the moment what they are.
Благодать, go ahead.
No, Blahodat, yeah, again, I have question again. Uh, okay, I found out a lot of things. Thanks for you because about Finland, about German influence on Estonian language. It was like absolutely new information for me. And I have a question about relationships between state, Baltic states. Yes, because we have some relationship with Ukraine, Poland, yeah, Ukraine, Hungary, and it's like almost like human relationships, and I want to know what history you have between, like, you three, like always in you, and it's always like Baltic states, but it's to three different countries, and of course you have some interesting relationship between these countries, and have I want to know about this anything because I know nothing about this.
Okay, yeah. So, what we start from? We are not even genetically connected. We are, well, we say like we are three sisters, yes, and like
I know because like Balto-Slavic languages, Estonian is not Baltic languages at all.
no. Yes, they Latvia, Lithuania are a bit closer than we are. We are closer to Finns, actually. Yes. So it's yes, as the memes say, and the famous meme, why when Russia is pissed, it's always you three, like Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. It's completely true. This meme is it's true, but we are different. We are very different, actually. We are neighbors, but we are not relatives that treat us as good neighbors. We are three good neighbors who are friends. Don't treat us as relatives. We are not relatives. We are three neighbors, three good friends. Yes, we have like, because we are very small, we have like this um, personality, interpersonality relationship between us. Yes. Well, we have this small competitions coming up, like who has the best dairy products, because we all three have very good dairy products and meat products. Like we have this stony land here and swamps, and we cannot grow wheat like you do in Ukraine. We don't have this land. We don't have the black land. Maybe we don't have enough, I don't know, Rusnia in our land, maybe. So we don't have this land to grow so much food here. So we have good meat. We had good dairy, like milk products. We have this curd sandwiches and like all kinds of. They have like fridges of milk products, and you can, if you go to any store, the dairy products will take a huge part of it because we have so many of it. Cheeses, like oh my god, how many beers we have? Yes, and we have a competition about this. It's like wow. Your karums is Latvian cut. This it's like this cut desserts covered with chocolate or something else. They are very different in our countries, Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia. There are like many companies who do this, and we have this competition: who does the best dairy, who has the best beer, who has the best meat, who has the best chicken, who has this, who has this, who has the best fish, and so on. Okay, on the fish side, it's mostly Estonia who wins, but okay, because we have the most sea of them. uh that kind of like friends competing between each other, who has more like who is richer, who has better like economy, who has like and so yes, we're just like three friends who have the same goal, to thrive here on the Baltic shores, and to be the part, to be protected from the eastern neighbor. And yeah, so treat us like three good friends who who are partly, yes, we have things in common, because Latvians also have song festival. I'm not sure about Lithuanians, but Latvians also have the song festival. We have song festival and Latvians have song festival, and this is massive. It's like absolutely massive, because the whole city is doing it. Like you understand, the whole capital is doing the song festival. So yes, it's very big. It's very big, but it happens only one time in 4 years. So yes, for a weekend, the whole city is paralyzed. Only once in so yes, in Riga and Estonia. If there are some people who saw that for the first time, they were shocked. Like this is massive. Yes. So yes, that's a tradition. So the singing tradition. So what we sing and we dance. Not on Lithuanians, maybe not so much. So yes, we are those who mostly sing and dance. So sauna. Sauna is that's Estonians who do it the most. Yes, Estonians who do the most. We are all absolutely democratic republics, but Lithuanians are Catholics. We are not. Um, we have all freedom of faith in all three countries, but only the main religion, only in Lithuania, is Catholicism. In Estonia, we are rather indifferent of religion. We see it like, well, maybe in history books, in a movie, but what can we sell it? Can we make something of it? Can we make a startup from it? Estonians are the most workaholics of them, because like if there is a joke that is not a joke. It's not a joke, it's a true of life. That if you why Estonians cannot have 4-day working week. Like not 5 days working week to 9 to 5, or 4-day working week. Well, because on the fifth day they will create a startup. They will work anyway. Yeah, so actually this is the uh may Latvians are not so famous for that, but yes, in Estonia we are like crazy for those startups, and this is the ID, the electronic ID, the electronic voting is It started from Estonia. It's still the most widespread in Estonia. You still can only vote on the. We still do it. We do it. I do it every day. I don't go voting to cast this envelope to the box. No, I don't. I don't do. I don't remember doing it anymore. Yes, we just like press the button and just select the code button. Voted. Done. That's all. Yes, Estonians are those who are the most about wasting the time. They hate it, absolutely. So they are very like, if we agreed we come on 13:00, it means we are 13:00 on the spot. And I don't know if it came from Germans who are like that or it's just natural. I don't know. But it was always like that. You have to be on the spot on the right time. So you are very punctual on this on this. Latvians maybe less than that, but well, still the same. So the Christmas tree, yes, we have this Christmas tree with Latvia. We have the fort. We have this beef about the Christmas tree. Who had the Christmas tree first, Riga or Tallinn? Yeah, we fight because of that. So yes, as you see, we here it's like friends fight, like good friends fight. No, it was you who did this. No, I put this tree first. No, you put this tree first. Yeah, so it's like that. It's but linguistically, I literally know only two Latvian words. Yeah, because this language is so different from Estonian. And what about we are all republics. We are all three are republics. We elect our the president in Estonia, by the way, is not elected. President is not elected. It is there is an electoral commission who elects the president because it doesn't have the executional power. It's just representative power. So the executional power has the prime minister. So we actually elect the prime minister. And the same is in Latvia. And the same is in Lithuania. So yes, we have this parliamentary republic states. That's the same and the same is in Finland. It's the same. But I guess Finns vote for president. Yes, because they will vote soon. In the spring they will vote. So, but yes, we are sort of, I don't know, because we were closer to Finland. It was like, I don't know. As we call it, the Swedes actually call Finland Baltic state sometimes. Yes. We partly agree on that because they are also part of this Baltic like spirit or so on. Yes. But they just don't share some of our history, so they were less occupied and less slaughtered than us. And yes, so we have this friend relationship. Trees is like three friends who has some common things, who know each other since ages, and share a lot of points, find because of stupid things, and yeah, so it's like that. We fight about serious things very rarely, literally never.
Yeah, it sounds like a healthy competition with the normal neighbors. Regina, I wanted to ask you how much more time you have to spend with us because I didn't ask you before.
Well, half an hour, and then well, yes, that we'll call it a day in a half an hour.
Awesome. Thank you. And if somebody else has questions, it's your last half hour to ask.
Regina, can I ask, how widespread is English in Estonia? Do most people speak multiple languages in Estonia?
Well, in Estonia, a lot of people speak English very well because we don't dub films, because we use a lot of Western produced entertainment, because we use a lot of this. And the newer generation literally speaks English very fluently, let us say. Amount of people who have B2, C1, C the younger generation. English is quite big. So if you come here to Estonia and you don't know Estonian and you know English, you will have literally no problem, because everybody will understand you. The younger generation, the coffee, they all speak like the waiter in the coffee somewhere in the restaurant. She will speak, or he will speak English to you. Pretty good, decent English. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Interesting. Vita, I think you had a question as well.
Yeah, I had a question on Intimarium projects. What do you think about it? Like here and then, there some information spread about Intimarium, and what's your opinion about it?
Did you hear a question, Regina?
Yes. Oh, sorry, I forgot to switch on my mic.
Okay.
So yeah, I heard about this project. It is well, a rather ambitious one. Is it doable? It, to some amount, I think yes. If the all of the parts will contribute, as in any project, it is doable. What will it bring? There will be like the eastern flank of the European Union or the NATO, doing better cooperation economically, militarily, and so on. Mostly economically. Yes, it's a great thing, but how will it be executed? How will they perform? How it will be done? That's the crucial part, because like we are, as always, like the small states, and this, yes, it's the biggest problem. We are the small states, and so how much will there be? What will it be? Because at the moment I see not really much progress of this, and we will see. Maybe it will work out indeed. Maybe it will be as like this project, and we'll just uh, experiment of a kind. But if something will work out from the program, it will be just great, because the uniting all this, let's say, improving cooperation between those countries will be indeed great indeed. Because yes, I have to confirm, I didn't knew about much about the like countries like on the like Bulgaria and on Romania and so on, and they will be the part of it. Okay, I knew about Ukraine only because my grandmother lived in Ukraine a lot. Only because of that I know it. But for other people who like really know nothing about it, it will be better. So yes, improving communication between them is very important. Yet we'll see how will it work out.
So you see this union more like economical one, and what about its military potential, like being Gondo against Mordor?
Well, again, it will be great. It will be like this addition to the what we already have in NATO, because not all part of this what should be intermarium is in NATO. That's one thing, and that will be the addition. And the military, I guess, again, how will it work out? How parts will be contributed? What agreements will be? What will be all of that? It's again, if it will be like indeed an something that is not connected to NATO, an additional one, then it will be great, because well, in NATO they have their own regulations that, as you see, with Sweden right now, they are stuck. They are not approved. Everyone approved, but those two nasty Putin ass lickers don't want to approve. Okay, well, we're stuck. We cannot do it. So if we will see that the intermarium then have to accept that if you need all members' approval, that doesn't really work out, and those all or nothing way doesn't actually work. And European Union already understood that if one country blocks everything like Hungary does like the moment, it doesn't work out. We need a majority vote that does decide, because one country cannot actually dictate all the others who already agreed that no, we are not doing it. No, do whatever you like. I'm out. I'm just leave it to you to decide how you will solve my no. No, so yes, if there will be more flexibility to this, it will be great, and an additional protection for those all countries included into Intermarium. But again, it's a very new project, and we will see how it work out, how the countries will work out of it.
Well, sometimes I have a feeling that the old Europe is really afraid of the unions between Baltic states and East European countries because, like for example, Estonia is more progressive country with young leadership. And when we look on the old Europe countries like Germany, France, they're really, really corrupt and they have like a little bit not progressive views on the things.
Yeah, well, let us say, as in some people really believe that. Well, what will it say about the old Europe? The old Europe, they for them, Second World War and all of that, all the consequences ended on 8th of May 1945. For others, on the Warsaw Pact, it ended in the 1991 when Soviet Union collapsed. So this is the line where is the breakage goes. For all those who were under the Warsaw Pact, they see what Russia really is from inside. They know it. Well, let's see about, okay, Hungary is another thing. They are corrupt to the core. They really need to get themselves together. They were under that. They had this the uprising that was crushed brutally by Soviet tanks. But well, I guess for Orban, for any oligarch, and Orban is an oligarch, money means everything. Literally, like money. That's all. Money. And then we cannot speak about anything but yes, he is after the money, that's all. Greed makes people very stupid. It's absolutely true. Great, and stupid people are greedy. That's what I found while like looking at those people like Musk and so on. Yes, stupid people are greedy, and greed makes people stupid. So yes, they that's the where the that's this like the border. The problems that Western countries face are a bit different than the problems that the Eastern European countries face. And how people see the problems in all the other countries, like what we see from the Central East European countries, what we see what Western Europe doing, we sometimes think, are you nuts? Guys, what are you doing? Are you okay there? Everything is fine? Not a bit, haven't been too much in the sun? Maybe you should go to the shade and cool a bit? No, maybe. Yeah. And just get yourself together and back to the reality. So I'm actually, when I was watching how the same the immigrant crisis, how they created it themselves, actually, let us say, if you let a lot of out of purely altruistic ideas, you let a lot of people from absolutely different culture a lot of people from absolutely different culture that has nothing with your democratic country and values to do. Well, what did you expect? So they become immediately this with the same democratic mindset? No, they won't. They didn't came to your country to be democratic. They came to your country. Some of them really came from the war and to being safe, and some of them came for the social benefits. So you have to face this problem. No, most of them won't integrate. It's the harsh truth. If a person comes from a very, very, very different background, it's very hard for him to integrate into a society. Like I was very honest with myself when I was thinking. I was asked one question: "What is your favorite country?" I was like, "Whew, what question is that? What could because you cannot name it like that. You just have to think about, is it a country where I would like to live or a country I would like to visit? Those are two different things. Same is about, you can only live happily in a country that is in line with your values. And well, if you come from, for example, a very very, very totalitarian country, let's think about where a bribe you can buy it, but you can bribe everyone. Yes, like very corrupt. You think your habits of bribing and waiting for a master will disappear as soon as you step your leg from the trap of the plane? No, you will take this baggage with you to the new country. It won't disappear in a day. So, and if I, for example, want to move to other country, I would choose the country of the same values because, well, I respect privacy. As a woman, I would like to have an ability to um, make my own decisions, leave my house alone, to get any education I can, and so on. So the country has to be in line with my values, the way of my life. So, and the people who come, okay, not from the Middle East, okay, from Russia too. They think that if they come to Western country, they can live the same way they lived. No, it's one of the biggest illusions that people might have, and that will actually, yes, ruin their life. No, you have to adopt. That is the actually one person reminded me about this rule of survival, adapting. Yes, in case of survival in new environment, you have to adopt. And it's the same goes to the those people who live here in Estonia. Those people who came here, yes, they were actually well, we have to think they were actually thinking about coming here to get a better life because they were living somewhere, I don't know, Siberia, I don't know, some poorer regions, no idea, somewhere else, and they decided to stay here after Estonian Republic was got its independence back. They decided. But they also decided to live the old ways as they lived while the Soviet Union occupation was still going on. What they did, they failed. They failed massively because they thought that, but in Soviet Union, I didn't have to learn the Estonian language. Why they make me learn Estonian language? Those fascists. Well, no. Now it's Estonia, and you have to adapt to Estonia in order to survive here. and to live a happy life here. Yes, you can absolutely live a happy life here in Estonia. It's very, very possible, even without dark nights, even without our, well, nasty weather, windy weather, a lot of sea, a lot of like storms, a lot of, yes, we, I was gonna say, very flat country, a small, you can have a very, because it's actually a very beautiful country. You can live here a very happy life. Well, I was really thinking in my youth, I was thinking about moving from here, but at some point I decided this Estonia is too beautiful to move from here, and it's way too comfortable country to live in. So, yes, that's why I stayed here. So, but yes, if you decide that you want to live here and you want to have a happy life, to enjoy all the possibilities Estonia has to offer, and that's quite a lot, because you can get a second, multiple educations, and some of them are for free. Yes, you can study for free in Estonia. Wow, you get multiple degrees just because people pay for that, for you to get it. You have a lot of, you can go to other universities in other countries. If you are a citizen, oh, so many doors are open to you. What are you like waiting for a limbic for this? Just stuck your nails into this old life. This old life is dead and it won't come back. And you just have to face reality. You live in a new reality. The reality of Soviet Union is gone and it won't be back. And if there is any chance that it will be back, as you know, you won't like it. No. Those people who were waiting for this in Ukraine, they won't like it. No. Even those who are waiting for this Ruski Mir, did they like it? No. They are complaining right now openly on telegrams how what the shit did you broke here? I was expecting upset. What, you were waiting for the ice cream for 20 kopecks or the sausages for 50 kopecks? No, they won't come back. No, you have to adapt to the new world. So yes, that's just how it is. So as my friend who is actually from Moscow, who right after occupation of Crimea, she just took her two kids, and said like, just we're leaving. We are not connected to this country anymore. Just let's go somewhere else. No future here available. No, this future here in Moscow is gone. So yes, she sold her apartment, moved to Silamaya, and well, she still lives here. Soon she will get her Estonian passport. And because, and I have quite, now I have a lot of friends like that who, they despise Russia. They hate Russia. Absolutely. They were born there, but they hate it because they know it's country with no future at all. The in this, like in this form, with this rule, with this system, this country has no future. So they wanted to have a future and moved out. So she also writes articles. So she wrote an article. If you want to share it, if you want to read it, it's in Russian, in Estonian newspaper. I can share it to you. So it's an absolutely marvelous article about the choices a person who is living right now in Estonia, and Russian speaking person, has to make. And well, I guess it's a very beautifully written article. It's everything. I absolutely agree. And I will sign under every word you said in that. That you have to, first of all, yes, you have three possibilities here. You can learn Estonian language, learn English language. You can, and then after that, so many possibilities open up to you. Oh my God, you can literally do this, do that, do this, do that, and most of those things will be for free for you. Um, then you can just sit and whine about how bad life is, how unfair is that you could. Well, no one made you study Estonian. Well, but small language, it's like, as they say in Russian propaganda, dying out language. Like this language won't exist in like 50 years. What this language is. Why you should learn it? No one will speak it soon anyway. Yes, you can do that. And you won't have those possibilities. And you can go even deeper. You can praise Soviet Union. You can wait for this to come back. And yes, you can even do something for it to come back. Well, I guess, the result will very negatively surprise you. Yeah, so this is actually what I wanted to say on this topic. As usually it with me, when I start speaking, it gets very long. So I'm sorry for that.
You happen to give us some guidelines for our future.
Well, I really hope, because we did this already, and we have that's what to do with our vatniks. Well, they are really actually tough. What you have to understand, they understand really only power, just like Russia. They only understand power. If you do this decision, like get out, and that's all, get out. Well, applaud it. It will be way easier. No, please don't leave. No Russian schools in your country. Please don't. We did this. Or if we still, that's the mistake we made. We were thinking that, it will be easier for Russians, so those who never spoke, to adapt to Estonia. No, don't do it. It's not. Lithuania, Latvia did the same. Lithuania didn't do it. They said like, Lithuanian schools only, and just don't even stop on this. Yes, they don't have this problem with vatniks. They don't have. No one demands a Russian language in Lithuania in year 2023. No one. Yes, they still demand in Latvia and Estonia, because we still have those schools in Russian language. Please don't leave any Russian schools in you. Like, you can't have private schools, like those people pay money to go there, but no public schools. Please don't leave it. You don't need it. Believe me, it will be a huge mess.
Like not making them comfortable.
No, they don't understand it. They think you, as they usually think, Russians. They think you are weak. They think you can be tricked, you can be played, you can be abused. Yes, they see it as an invitation to abuse you even more. No, I have Russian clients. I am an entrepreneur. I'm not only a teacher, I'm an entrepreneur too. Believe me, it works. If you treat them like shit, they behave. Like, I don't understand why I have to. First of all, I don't want to treat them like shit. I don't want to treat them like shit.
They just got used that if someone treats them like shit, they who treat them like shit have power.
That's exactly. And yes, I'm like, I don't want, like, a Russian client comes, starts demanding. I start acting like a complete bitch, and then put them on. You want this? Look, in this our agreement, we have this, and you signed this bullshit. And then you, sorry, no, you signed it too. But yes, I have to be like, I hate being like that, acting like that. I absolutely hate it. But here we are. Here we are, and there is nothing I can do. Yes, I won. I almost always win those fights, because I act like a complete bitch. I hate myself after that, because I hate treating people like that. It's not what I do, but I know it works, and I get my money, my honestly earned money. Like, it never works with Estonians. Never. Don't even try to do that with Estonians. You will never see them again. Like, literally, it will be the last time you will even see them, because they can. I just have to say, there are some Estonians who, well, got this Soviet influence and still play those games, but those older generation, the newer, they don't understand it. They don't understand it. They play different games. They have different games, but they are not the power games. Not knows the power games like the Russians do. So yes, actually, this once I had a neighbor in my flat in central Tallinn. It's a story building, and I had a neighbor. I knew who it was. I knew he was Russian. I just knew. And and one morning, it was a very hot summer day. Of course, went sleeping with an open window. I like, okay, mosquitoes, come and eat me alive. I don't care. I just want to breathe because I actually I don't like hot weather. I'm not good with hot weather. I'm a northern person. I like snow. I like cold. So it's better for me to put some layers on than to just, I don't know, I have to peel my skin off or some. I cannot stand because in Estonia, I have a comparison moment because my English teacher in my school, she's from Berdiansk. She's from Berdiansk, and she said to me, no, your heat here in Estonia in summer is completely different. It's suffocating. You cannot breathe. Yes, it's like a soup because we have high humidity in Estonia. So yes, I slept with open window. I found a stick on my window inside. I knew who does this because there is only one person in this above my flat who smokes, and actually smoking from the window is forbidden in Estonia. You cannot just like open the window and smoke from out of it because these ashes can fall down and cause the fire, and they did cause fire. And so what I decided. I decided to act the Russian way. I knew he's Russian, he'll understand, and he will never do it again. How to do it? I took a picture of this cig. It was half smoked cig. It was like some of this left, and most of this was smoked. So yes, it was used one. And on 3 languages, I wrote a note. It was read in English. It was the same message, just in Russian it was the most harsh words in Russian. So to the neighbor who likes to smoke cigs in the morning, please note, my flat has an insurance. Do you have an insurance? No cigs since then. So I was just like hitting on them. So if I ever see, I will contact my insurance and demand them, and because this can cause fire. Because the cig it did in Estonia, there were cases where a dropped cig to another window caused fire. So I will tell so they can inspect you and talk to you. Maybe you can. Do you have insurance? The fact is that he rents this apartment, and the fact that his owner will get to know, the owner has the insurance of the apartment. Yes, if the owner knows that his insurance can be activated, can be used, he will just throw out this guy from the apartment. That's all. Yes, I was quite a bitch. Yes, I was a bitch in this situation. Did it work? Yes, it worked. So this is how you deal. Do I like dealing with them? No. Do I have to deal with them as they live in Stalin? Yes. It's another case of how you adapt to a situation. Yes, you don't like it. I don't like acting like that. I don't like hearing. I wrote another story for one Russian newspaper here. because I have a very good relationship with this editor, who is Jewish, and so yes, we have very good relationship with her. So about how Russian kids behave in public transport. Oh my God. It's even worse than you imagine. So I can go into a tram and will hear those words in Russian. You know the words you will hear. Exactly those words. Screamed like on the top of the lungs. So this is how they behave. So at one point I decided, stop it. I will just shame everyone on this article. Yes, it will be soon printed, this article, because I was just absolutely, it was horrible. You go in the evening, you go from a cinema with your kid. My kid is 10, she understands Russian, and she asks me, why are they so rude? What can I say to her? Because their parents are the same? Because this is the truth. Their parents are the same. They learn those words from their parents. Because those words, you know what the words I mean. Yes. So yes, this is how it is in Estonia. So well, I guess it's like 10 already. Yes, in Tallinn, and would you be very angry with me if I go and start preparing my kid for the bed, or would you like to ask me something else?
Yeah, thank you, Regina, for coming for our space. Sam, can you wrap it up? I have a problem with my daughter right now.
Okay, yes. So thank you for inviting me on this space, and
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to hear from you.
I guess Rita, you wanted to ask me something, I guess, or was it accidental?
Yeah, I just wanted to summarize that you and us are very, very similar in history basis, in background basis, and what we've got from occupation. So that's amazing. Like very, very similar. Like all the events, the historical events that you talked about the festival, well, also had one in 70s. So the similarities are astonishing.
So, well, what it means that maybe all those examples and some guidelines I just shared with you, what I guess they will be helpful, because, well, there are some milestones that Estonia maybe have already passed, and that what might wait Ukraine in the future, and what to do, what not to do, what are the. I hope they will be helpful for you to develop your country in the best way.
Volodymyr, did you have one last question?
No, I didn't have any questions. I just wanted to thank Regina for supporting our country's cause. For promoting it, for popularizing it, and I really enjoyed listening to her speak. I think it's been great. So thank you, Regina.
Okay, thank you so much for your feedback. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. It was such a pleasure, and I think let's leave it at that. But thank you again, and I hope that we can work together more in the future as well, because